Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters, and it is a busy evening, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. But boy, am I excited to have this man here return. And we talked about it last month before the historic show, the biggest one, arguably in the WVWF's history. We knew what was on the line for this man. It was basically win or go home. Well, you see what this man has on his shoulder, he's going to talk about that. He's also going to talk about what it means to be the WVWF King of the Mountain Champion. We're also going to talk about he's in action with a guy that he just recently saw, but now there's a twist, and now it's going to be pushed back a few weeks. Boy, how does it impact this man? We'll also talk about some places he's going to be on Valentine's Day, so don't send him some roses yet. Don't give him a box of chocolates. He may tell you, though, why he may be doing the same to those he's going to be in a ring with. Plus, who knows whatever else. And plus, I'll give this man something, and I'm sure it may or may not be anything to do with that guy whose name is Tafu. But in the meantime, it is time to formally introduce this man and give him that well-deserved championship introduction on the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters, that is Sportzwire Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this busy night off here in style. So, what I do here on the Sports Report. Number one, sports show. A man who won it not only for the Bengals but for the Mountain State. He's the reigning, defending, first ever WVWF King of the Mountain Champion. His name is simply put, the Maverick, the champ is here, my friend. How are you doing?
Well, Tom, I finally did it, so I'm doing wonderful. How you doing? I'm having trouble hearing you, Tom.
Now you can hear me. I yelled so loud, my mic just went out there. That's how we're excited to see you here on Sportswire Radio, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate it.
Well, you deserve it. We have a lot to talk about. It was a very busy evening here on Sportswire Radio, and I want to get right into it, and especially for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, Maverick, and the WVWF most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio. Talk to me now on what it means to you to be the reigning, defending WVWF King of the Mountain Champion.
You know, it feels good. Finally, I get my opportunity. Finally, I get to walk into the Richardson building as champion. You know, for the past year and a half, I've been fighting, you know, hybrid champion, world heavyweight championship, you know, even the tag team championship with Nate Steele. You know, I couldn't get it done. That was my goal. You know, like we were talking about before, I didn't know how much time I had left in this business, you know, because of my knee surgery. So, I mean, this could be my last title I ever get to hold, so I'm going to cherish it dearly. I do know that there is a lot of guys hit me up on my Facebook stating to watch your back. You're not going to be king for a while. Um, it was this weekend coming that I was going to be in a three-way. Unfortunately, it's canceled. So I just gotta just watch my back pretty much. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that in a few minutes, but maybe I'll go right into it because you said something that I know a lot of people have on their minds. That originally Love and War was supposed to have been this Saturday, but due to this horrific weather that is impacting almost everybody around out there, and I hope that you are warm out there and safe. And here in New York, it was almost a summer, like 37 degrees. But nevertheless, how does this now? In the delay where you were supposed to have defended that WVWF King of the Mountain Championship against the two men we're going to talk about shortly. But how does that delay from now going to February 21st impact you in what's in store for that first title defense?
yeah. So like, a lot of athletes train for the next, their game or whatever. That's what I was doing really. I was just, prepping my, just going to the gym, just working out, staying healthy, staying in shape, pretty much doing what I usually do. I've been in the ring with Ryan Steele. I've been in the ring with Michael Everything. But then you have those two together, it's you can't just go after one person, you know what I mean? And that's why I think it's unfair. It really is unfair because why my first title defense is in a three-way, I just yeah, look, see, come on. But hey, I know that Ryan Steele and Michael Everything are hungry. And I have something right now on my shoulder they both want. And I know they're coming after me. So I got what, 3 weeks now to prep for this match. So
less than that now. You got 18 days. I mean, this is 18 days and
Yeah, so less than 3 weeks now. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. First title defense, I'm sure everybody's going to want me to win, but I have two other guys that, are dominant in this business that, one wrong move they give me, I'll be knocked out, I can be out for 5 seconds. All they need is 3 seconds to pin me. So you never know.
Yeah, that's certainly a point. And if you're out there, do me a favor, go hit the sub button for Maverick, and we'll say hello to you in the chat in a few minutes. And I do want to remind people that we will have a busy evening. I'll be here also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time with the Big Hoss in Super Southern Wrestling. So you're getting a full dose because I wasn't here yesterday because of we had a family, a personal emergency. But nevertheless, we'll talk about that later on. But
Yeah, I couldn't hear your mic.
having a problem, but we'll fix that after the air. But think of it this way. Now we're looking at this Sunday Super Bowl. Everybody's talking about the big game, but we have 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks that the Seahawks and the Patriots have to think about this. Now you've got over 2 weeks now to think about your first title defense. Is that going to work to your advantage, or is it now going to be where you're thinking over and over about this first defense? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, like I said, this first title defense, is a three-way dance. I'd rather have it to be, one-on-one, make it a little easier for me. But like I said, I've known Ryan Steele. I've teamed with Ryan Steele. I know how he works around the ring. I know, like his little tricks, if that makes sense. I know when he attacks at the right minute because I've been in his corner over a year as a syndicate member. Michael Everything, I do know that, I personally know his trainer. I know his background. I know everything. I know how he trains. He's a tough competitor as well. I pinned him, but he also pinned me.
I was going to bring that up because the last time you were in the ring with Michael Everything, he pinned you. He's got something now to go into this match, and now conversely, this could work in his advantage. He's got now a couple of weeks extra preparation. You know what? I've got a victory over him already. I'm the guy going into this that might be the favorite because the last time you and him were in that ring, He won, and on top of that, your odds of retaining that championship were only 33.3%. So he might be going into this match maybe the favorite.
Right, right. And I know, like, he is well liked too, so I know the crowd's gonna, be on his side as well with me. I know Ryan Steele, he's one of the biggest heels in the company. So I mean, I know, like how you brought in the Seattle Seahawks, the 12th man. That's important. I don't know if, I've wrestled with when COVID happened, where we did live web shows. And whenever you have a no audience or a dead crowd, whenever you're down and you don't want to get back up, but that crowd's cheering for you to get back up, that right there makes me want to get back up. So I mean, like it's going to be a 50-50 chance with me and Michael Everything with that crowd base, so it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be a war. I know that I'm going to come in there with a fight. I know I'm going to get my ass whooped. Um, but for them to beat me, I'm not going to be able to get back up.
Well, if you're out there, do me a favor, go hit the sub button for Maverick because we got him 2 extra subs last time. We need to get him a few more. He's at 30 subs, and we want to support independent wrestling. We want to support our wrestlers out there. So if you're out there, I see a bunch of you. I see right now 10 people on the YouTube stream. So if you haven't yet subbed to Maverick's channel, please do so. We will get to you shortly in a very busy evening ahead. So let me ask you then this question. You brought up the 12th man. That was an emotional night. That was maybe one of the biggest crowds in the WVWF's history. It was the 1,000 follower free event show, New Heat. And how much are you going to rely on that crowd, especially now with this 2-week plus delay, where they're going to be even more excited to be back in the Richardson building? How much are you going to rely on the crowd to keep that King of the Mountain Championship coming up on February 21st?
I mean, with every match, I like having the crowd on my side. I like I was telling you, whenever my body feels that I can't, handle it anymore, I'm about ready. I'm pretty much done, right? You hear, come on, Maverick, let's go, Maverick, get up, you to clap. You know what I'm trying to say. That energy makes you like all your pain's going away. So if that crowd has that same energy they give me each time, I'll tell you this much. A guy that I wrestled, his name's James Ellsworth.
Wow, I've spoken to the man personally.
Yeah, well, he had a slogan: "Any man with two hands has a fighting chance." Right. So that's the slogan that I'm coming into as. I'm gonna take it from someone I wrestled that that I've known for a long time, and I'm gonna take his slogan, and that's what I'm gonna use in the match for this 3-way. And even like you said with the crowd and everything, I mean, I show up. If there's fans there, they're screaming for me before I even get into the building. I'm grabbing my luggage out, or my my gear bag, whatever you want to call it, to the back, and they're screaming for me. So I know, when I come in for this match, they're gonna be on my side, and that's really important to have that 12th man, if that makes sense for how you brought it.
Well, I think so. No, totally. Listen, I mean, I think that's going to really propel you because we know the relationship that you have with this crowd and what that meant to them. It wasn't just about you winning it for you; it was for them. That emotion, and it also it's got to mean extra for you that you're the first King of the Mountain champion. We spoke about this when you were here before New Heat, before the match itself, and talk to me now about also what it means to be the first. We remember the first, right? You're the first King of the Mountain champion. So going into this, what does that now mean to you?
When we talked last show, you brought up how everybody brings up Pat Patterson as the first ever Intercontinental champion. So it's in the history books. My name being the number one, on the line of being the first champion of this title, can never get taken away from me. Can never. I was the first one to hold this. Like I said, it means so much to me to have this just because of it's not, a lot of people, whenever I was in training, I'll be honest with you, I'll bring this up. A lot of people, when I was in training, said a championship in the Indies is a prop. No, it's not to me. It means everything. I own my first, my first title. I cherish it. I to be honest, I'll be honest with you. When I brought this home, I shined it up. I did. I put pledge on it. I shined it all up. Take care. I'm the man right now. I'm the king. Tafua might call himself the king, but I have something that proves that I am the king, and that's I've been living since I got this title as the king. You can even ask my wife. I mean, I'm working out as
She
I'm the
was there in the
champ.
chat. I felt bad for her that we didn't give her the new Megadeth, but I promise you we're going to do another contest for it again because I am getting another copy of it soon, so I don't have another one on me. But we're going to do, I promise you, another one before the 21st. We're going to do another WVWF show or two before then. But I think people, they believe in you. The fans believe in you. And I think that that's why it was such an emotional moment that we all were so happy that you had. And talk to me, though, about the odds. And I brought it up a few minutes ago, 33.3%. You said you didn't like what you were being put into, but you've got to block that all out. And you've just got to figure will it away and just deal with that. Talk to me about that mathematical number going into this.
It's rough. I gotta, just pay attention pretty much. I gotta know the weaknesses of each person. Well, each competitor, I should say. Ryan Steele, he got some strong chops, I will say. I'm trying not to take, so I'm gonna try to avoid that at all costs. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of their matches on YouTube just to study them. I have a little bit of. I've noticed Ryan Steele throws a code breaker out of nowhere. So, and last time we met in the ring or whatever, that happened to me. Whenever I was coming to help James Enoch or Enich or whatever. I have a hard time pronouncing that name. It's always but the gunslinger. How's that?
The chemical power gunslinger, James Enoch. I mean, you have a lot of history. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, but whenever I went to try to help him out, he threw the code breaker and so I, just watching his clips or whatever, I'm studying them. Pretty much that's what I can tell you. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to give it all away. You don't know who's watching.
Yeah, no, listen, you know here that the word's going to travel, and every word that you say, especially your opponents, Mr. Steele, you're gonna, and Mr. Everything are gonna hang on to every word. I mean, Michael, Everything has a victory over you recently. We spoke about that, and and Ryan Steele's got a lot of history with you. We talked about the syndicate, and I gotta ask you, are you feeling that pressure though, that target on your back, because you right now that they have a bullseye with you on your back right now? They want that championship. I mean, are you feeling that pressure and that bullseye on your back right now?
Absolutely. The week, I wouldn't even say a week. I gave it a couple of days. I'm not going to mention who, but he was on your show just in my messenger, telling me watch my back because he's coming for the belt. That's just one of them. There's multiple guys that's, saying keep your eye, Blue Collar Beef, Chris Phoenix, a couple other guys. So I just
Redbird's in the chat. Ampo from Tokyo just commented about TikTok with your championship. There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Ampo and I, we go way back. So
love Ampo.
If I still have this, if I still have this title, I'll give Ampo a shot. If I still have this title on the 21st, which that's my plan is, to keep it or whatever. But I'll get Ampo. I'll hit him up. I'll tell him. I'll challenge.
Well, that's already. See what I just said? You're feeling that pressure. You're feeling that target. I say it all the time over the years on this platform. There's always an adjustment from being the guy that's the hunter to the hunted. And right now, you are the hunted. And especially because of the fact that you are the first ever champion, the first ever WWF King of the Mountain champion. People remember that. You and I spoke about that last month. You brought it up again, and there are guys here in the back that want to take that championship. They want you to be a footnote. Listen, we talk about music all the time here in sports. I'm going to make a major announcement in a few minutes in your spot about a big-time guest coming, and we talk about one-hit wonders all the time in the music business, right? Guys right now in the WWF in that locker room are chopping at the bit to turn you into a one-hit wonder. That's what the pressure you're feeling right now. It has to be magnified now, especially because you got to wait 18 days to defend that championship.
Yes. And not to bring it up now, but I also have a booking before that event. So, you know what I mean? So, who knows? Maybe
Are you going to see some of those guys maybe in that booking? Because I understand you're going to be somewhere, right, on Valentine's Day.
Right. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot you're going through right now. There's a lot of an adjustment, and I hope that you're going to be able to retain that championship. I want to make the announcement here coming up that Cody Maverick will be out in action on February the 21st with the rest of the WWF as they make their long-awaited return back to the Richardson building. And there is the fat boy. There he is, the King of the Mountain champion, the first ever one. He'll be taking on Michael Everything, a man that was in the ring with him very recently and has a victory over him, Ryan Seal. They have a lot of history together. So this is a match you're going to want to see. And the way you can see that match is by going to the WWF Facebook page, following the WWF, sending them a few dollars for a ticket, $10 only. We know the doors are going to open at 7. The 6 o'clock the doors open. Bell rings at 7 o'clock, and this match is going to be one of those matches of a very exciting card. We know what happened at New Heat, where Cody Maverick became the first ever King of the Mountain champion. Now he defends it. He defends it here February the 21st. Please support the WWF. They recently surpassed 1,000 followers to get us to that free show, one of the biggest crowds in the WWF's history. I have no doubt we're going to top that crowd on February 21st. So do me a favor, go out there and please follow the WWF. Let's get to some comments here. I want to give you something, and I want to talk about a few other things. So let's do that here right now. And I'll go, there it is. Double Al says, if you have a championship, you have a target. Doesn't matter who you are. And right now, and especially because the fans were behind you. You've been on here, 5 times now, something like that, the last 9 months, and you've talked about something about what it's, you have been chasing a championship, whether it was the hybrid title, whether it was the world title, whether it was a shot at gold, because you didn't know your future. You've talked about your injuries. You just talked about it earlier. You talked about it last time. You don't know how much time you have left in this sport. So now you've got that championship. You've got to work even harder to defend and retain that championship. So there's no question you're feeling it, and plenty of guys here are in this chat right now to talk to you about it. So let's get to some comments. I want to say hello to my lovely friend Maria out there. How are we doing? I hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope you're somewhere warm. Zella's in the house. How you doing, Zella? And I want to make the announcement. We're going to be on here at 8:30 p.m. also with the Big Hoss in Super Southern Wrestling. And yes, he is the King of the Mountain champion. Thank you. And there's that guy that also talked about that he was one of those guys. Yes. He may have won the new Megadeth album, but he didn't win your championship. He got that for the prize, but the ultimate prize you've got. That's the prize that everybody wants in this sport, in this company, in this state. You've got it, and he came up short.
Yeah. I don't even think me and Birdman actually worked that match in that battle royal. I don't think
that's
I got
why
my hands
he
on
wants
it.
that shot. That's why, and he's talked a lot about singles gold. Listen, Hype Man Dan Wade, he's got the singles gold and another promotion, and obviously he's been chasing that. He's had it before elsewhere in the Rare Bird. Once he shot at more gold, and he sees you, and that championship is his, and a lot of people do. But you've got it, and you're going to fight like hell to keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. And since you still have his comment up there, I didn't know about his concussion injury or whatnot. So I want to, just hope everything's okay with Chris Finn.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I seen him on the air with you a little bit of,
yes,
days
on
ago.
Friday show, yeah.
that's when I actually found out, and for him to, to continue the match, and for Hype Man to see that he's okay too, still continue. I much respect to those guys.
Absolutely.
I know that that's off topic, but I just,
No, no, no. Listen, we are all on the same team, and we hope that the Rarebird can, fly back to the Richardson building here on February 21st, and he will be a-okay. And we hope by then it'll be a little warmer outside, and I have no doubt that cease and desist will warm things up for us at Love and War, and I'm very excited to see what they do out there. So yes, we love the Rarebird, but you love that championship war. Yes, hello to the Rarebird, Chris Phoenix. If you're out there, do me a favor. I see a lot of people out there right now on YouTube. Let's hit the sub button for Maverick. He has been so supportive of this platform, so supportive of our great sport and the great state of West Virginia and that King of the Mountain Championship. So let's make him the king of YouTube and get him some more subs. He is the frat boy after all. Let's get to some more people. There is obviously somebody else out there that wants to say hello. I want to say hello to Bam Allen, who had a funny thing on Facebook. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I'm locked out on Facebook to comment because I keep sharing my post into groups, and Facebook says I'm spamming on my Facebook profile, so they won't let me comment until Sunday. But I did want to comment and say that it was nice of Bam to name me the art teacher of the WVWF group. So even though I can't draw anything more than a cube, I do appreciate Bam Allen. I'm going to draw his next comment up here. Get it? Bam in the house. Question to Maverick. I know you're going to be a fighting champion. Who are some young, fresh talent you'd like to defend against? And you talked about that. You did talk about you'd want to defend against the young talent here in our company, in our sport. So what's your thoughts?
Okay. The young and up and talent, and does it have to be WVWF, or can it, or let's just keep it a WVWF?
Yes, let's keep it WWF. Yep.
Well, he's one of them. I see what he can do in the ring. So yeah, Bam Allen is one of them. D Mosley, DB Rivera. I've always wanted to wrestle DB Rivera. Yeah, anytime. I'll even go to Tate Griffin's promotion and work him if I have to. Let's see. Tafua. I really want to work Tafua, even though he's hacking on your stuff every.
He's been, we're roommates, and he's been I mean, literally at this point, he should just take over for us on Sportswire. I mean, every time,
every time he says his name, I mark out and say it too. I'll Tofu. I scream. My wife's like, be quiet.
I think the best was, I tell you what, to break the fourth wall, the best was about like 3 months ago. Day and Daniel Tafu were traveling. I guess they were on a Facebook, they were on the road. They did a Facebook Live, and then I actually was watching it, and then they did the Tafua, and then Dave Jameson did my intro, which was the funniest thing ever. So, yeah, that was awesome.
That's another one that I want to work, Dave Jameson. Believe it or not, I've known him pretty much since he was a kid. Watching him grow up in the business, like with Pro Wrestling Express and everything. And he told me something that I'm gonna keep private. It's personal. It was really respectful. And I really want to have my best match with Dave Jameson before this year's up. There's a couple promotions that we share the same, promotions or whatever. So I'm sure we're going to make that happen, but he's definitely one of them that I, want to work before I have to go and get this operation on. So that's about, just with on a fly, in my head.
No, I think that's indeed. I would love to see you in Bam Allen. Bam Allen is definitely a rising star. D Mosley, is a guy that has certainly been around the block in West Virginia and a few other places, which he and Mr. Rivera share a locker room in. And I think Dean Mosley would be very important. Dean Mosley right now is going after the Mountain State Championship. So, I mean, that would be fitting in itself. The Mountain State Champion, you're the King of the Mountain Champion, but, I mean, obviously, he's going to get through the deal.
Like, since he was on my list of, like with Bam's comment, if he wins the Mountain State title and I'm still the King of the Mountain, we can unify these titles. So,
he's got to first get through Nate Steele after what happened there.
Nate's my boy, me, like I said, he's one of the syndicate members. These guys, they might be, like, an asshole, to some people, in the ring or whatever. But when you're on the road with these guys, you bond. You know what I
There's a
mean?
brotherhood. There's a respect
Yeah,
level. No, absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit to you, me and Ryan Steele, we don't really talk like we used to. Ever since I left the syndicate, it split up. He became the asshole renegade the renegade that he was supposed to be, and it's just, So I'm ready. Like I said, I'm ready for the 21st, but I'm gonna put all my past behind and just focus on this title between me and Ryan Steele.
Absolutely. And I see a dozen people here on the YouTube stream. So if I can, do me a favor, hit that sub button for Maverick. I see a dozen of you out there. And if you have not yet subbed, please support Maverick. Please support his YouTube channel. You will see a lot more content coming up in the future. So you've supported me over the years. You've gotten me to some big places. Let's get Maverick to some bigger subtotals. So, listen, I think Dean Mosley, the most Dean Mosley, who certainly is a very intriguing figure, but he's got his work cut out for him with Nate Steele, and we've seen Mr. Mosley in EPWA, WDWA, and other parts of West Virginia. So he's come here in the WVWF, and he's somebody I know we're going to talk about in the near and distant future here on Sportswire. So let's get to some more comments. Just because I got other stuff going on, I still got that title in my sights. Much love, bro, and good luck on your first title defense. So, all right, that was a nice sign of respect. Absolutely. Love the rare bird, and hope he'll let me know when he gets his Megadeth album to fly to his compound or wherever he shall be. And also, I actually share a mutual friend or a mutual relative with the rare bird because his cousin is actually a friend of mine, and Magnum Carter, the MC of the 1, 2, 3 and YBW. So it's a very small world out there. So shout out to Magnum Carter. Hit the sub button for Maverick. And as you mentioned, Ampo, there he goes. Tick-tock goes the clock. That is your reign as champion. Almost like with Mr. Tafu. Let's talk about John Wick and Tick-tock. And Tick-tock, Mr. Maverick.
Yeah. Speaking of TikTok, Tafua's rap song. That's my favorite one.
You know what? I got to tell you, and I'm glad you brought that up because I will do a plug for him because even though I know he's not technically here at the moment, but I'm sure he may or may not find his way out there. But if you do want to see some of Mr. Tafu raps out there and some other things, he does have a YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see some of it, Demented TikTok, that's the song that one of them that Mr. Maverick is referencing. Do me a favor, hit the sub button for him because he will eventually hack his way onto Sportswire, whether it's who knows when. So he has a YouTube channel. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, with that TikTok song, I had it beaten in my Jeep and I had windows shaking. So it's a good
Well, you know what? That's why we all need to go hit that sub button for Mr. Tafua and his group. So do that there, and it's at Demented724. So give him a sub and give Maverick a sub. Well, let's get to some more comments here because we have a bunch of them here. I want to get to them. Yes, Sarah, hello to Bam Allen. Hello to Ampo all the way from Tokyo. And I agree with the lovable Lester. It was really a match we wanted to see, but listen, you can use this time to train and be ready, and may the best man win. It definitely stinks that we have to wait, but I think it's going to make this match even more exciting.
Well, yeah, and with you talking about the weather a little bit ago, that's the reason why we canceled, with travel and everything. We didn't just cancel just to cancel, I know everyone knows it, but you know how people are in the business, oh, they canceled, and then there's heat online about it, so. No,
this is understandable. The weather, I'm in New York City, and it's like, it's like we're in a third world. Nobody shoveled, and it's like a whole thing. I mean, but I don't want to go political, but I know it's very understandable. This weather, and even this weekend coming up here, it's supposed to be really extreme in terms of the temperatures again. So, no, we value safety first, and this will make the heart go fonder for this match and the rest of the card coming up. So, no, we understand, and I think the fans of the Richardson building know that, and that's going to make them even more motivated. But I think it's going to work in everybody's favor because I think more people are going to come out on the 21st, and I think it's going to make this even a better show than what was anticipated. So I'm telling you, the best is yet to come. And yes, good things come to those who absolutely we agree. We agree on that, and we are all proud of you. And I'm so proud of you, Maverick. I want to share my screen. I want to do this. I want to do because I haven't done this in a long time on Sportswire because I've decided now it's your week. This week of February 2nd is acknowledged as Maverick Week on all Sportswire radio platforms. So congratulations.
Sweet.
I was going to give you a day or a Hall of Fame, but you got those already. I don't have many people I've given a week to. I gave a friend of mine the month, a woman, Angela Pink, who unfortunately is dealing with a very serious form of cancer, but I wanted to give you the week because you deserve it. You've done so much for our sport, and I know how much winning the King of the Mountain Championship has meant to you. And congratulations, my friend. This is yours, and this is your week.
I appreciate that.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
I'll hang them with my other two.
I appreciate that. Well, you know what? That's why I wanted to give you something different. Yes, and we are very proud of Maverick, and the fans are excited. I'm excited, and we all should be. We love the WVWF here on Sportswire. There's a reason Ryan Steele is called the Comeback King. Don't sleep on him. We talked about Mr. Everything. We talked about that at length. I want to say hello to Mr. Ox McCoy, who I know is going to be tuned in Thursday night when I have on Sean Jovi, a veteran like yourself, the resident rock star. It'll be very exciting to see. If you have a championship, we spoke about this already, the target is on your back. Speaking of veterans, also the ROW Prestige champion, Johnny Velocity, and who's a part of the great state of Ohio. We have our people here in the Midwest supporting you, which I appreciate. So if you're out there and you're here for the first time and you're seeing Maverick on here, do me a favor, go out there and hit the sub button for me. You got 2 subscribers. Since I just made that announcement, you got 2 subscribers. I see plenty of other people on here, and I need you to hit that sub button. Please do me a favor, support those who support us. That's what it's about. It's not about what you see on a Facebook post or any other things out there. We only focus on supporting those who support us. We only focus on positivity because that's what this world needs, and we need you out there, your fellow wrestlers and colleagues, to hit the sub button for Maverick. The man has given a lot to our sport, and we will return the favor. So let's get to some more comments here.
Can I make another comment on that with my YouTube? Yeah, yes. With my YouTube page, it's not just my wrestling shows. It's actually like I've been putting on, like a story, like stories about my wrestling career. Like my worst wrestling injury is one of them. I got another one on there. I can't remember what I named.
Well, you got Michael everything on there. You've also got some stuff you had in Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots. You've got stuff out there just from other things. Your return out there, a lot of stuff. It's a really good YouTube channel. I've shown some of the videos here in the past. And again, it's free. It's free to hit the sub button. It costs you nothing. And you get more in return because you now get a chance to network with another wrestler. And that's what it's about. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you got me to almost 2,000 subs. It's everybody, all the wrestlers, the WWF and the wrestlers from the other companies that are here that got Rhino on here, that got Raven, that got Savio Vega, but also got Ozzy Osbourne's second longest tenured guitarist, Gus G, on here, and got the co-founder of Megadeth, David Ellefson, on here, and Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad. So you got them here. You can support those who support us. Let's get to some more comments. Yes, hello. Yep. And Bam Allen's gunning for championships, that's for sure. Tafua is like that Joe guy that appears when you say his name. Yeah, Joe Hendry. Yes, Joe Hendry. And there you go. Yes, don't say it. Well, you just did. So thank you for that. Maverick, you should get, and we got to get the double L back on sports. I think we'll do it before the 21st. I think we have some time, and I want to see him on here. And hit the sub button for Daniel Tafua on his YouTube channel, and I already did, and I'm sure he'll show up when I subscribe to Maverick. Yes, you sure did, Bam. I love Bam now. We're going to get him on Sportswire maybe after the 21st. The weather is very bad out there. The ice is the worst. Yes, the ice is just, it's not ice big. Maybe we'll see vanilla ice on Sportswire. Who knows? I don't know if I'm that big, but hello there. Yes, hello, Johnny Velocity. And yes, it cost nothing to support each other. It costs zero. I see people all the time that say this and say that, but it costs not a cent to support those who support us. So I know that we've talked about a number of things, and I'm going to come back to the WVWF here in a few minutes. But you said you were going to be somewhere on Valentine's Day. Now I know you and the missus might be somewhere. It's probably celebrating Mike Tomlin's no longer the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But where may you be on February 14th?
So I'll be in Charleroi, PA, Pennsylvania for Mon
Mm.
Valley Pro Wrestling. They're
Oh,
hosting, yeah, they're hosting this battle royal. They invited me to come out. The promoter gave me their schedule for the year. So you might see Maverick more there. I also took another booking March 14th um,
mm.
for Crown Sports Entertainment. So
Yes,
I
yes,
know
sure.
I know the Birdman's there, so maybe we can
The Birdman's
rearrange a
there, the
match
Hype
there.
Man's
So
there. Yep, a lot of
yep.
Kyle Gordon. Absolutely, yes.
So and then also with WVWF and Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots. However, the Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots and WVWF shows run, on the same day almost.
Yep.
So the promoter said focus on my title down there, and then once I'm ready, I always have a spot. So I'm active again, and not just in one promotion every other weekend now. So that was my goal for this year, to go out with a bang. If it's my last year, you know. So
No,
I
listen,
got I got
you did talk about that on here. You have something you did
yeah
talk about for sure.
yeah yeah. So I'm getting a full schedule for the year. I have some dates open, so um, I'm willing to travel, to go anywhere. Um, I just if I'm gonna travel, I understand you don't make money in this business, unless you're signed, but just reasonable price if I have to travel. That's all I ask. I don't want to travel 4 hours for $20 and a hot dog, because then I have to worry
Hot
about my.
dog and a handshake. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I
No,
just
listen, I get burned. Listen, I just had on Swim the Current. The front man was the singer of El Nino, and and we were talking about this in the rock world. You want to make sure you get paid because certain bands sometimes you don't get paid as much, and so I understand. Listen, you want to get paid for your services, and it's very understandable, and I completely agree. And we're looking forward to seeing you out there in Mon Valley. Obviously, Dave Jamison, one half of the Mon Valley Pro Tag Team Champions, alongside Tyler Grayson, going to be here on the 20th. And I know Peanut Butter and Jealous are making their way back on here. So we have a
yeah,
lot
they're
of
down there as
Mon
well. Yeah.
Valley. Yep. Loveless,
Hmm.
I've known Loveless for a long time. In fact,
Yeah.
Loveless it was in a wrestling company that I'm in a Hall of Fame for. I'm in the Enterprise Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and Ampo was there. In fact, Ampo wrestled on the show that they put me in the Hall of Fame all for. That was
Oh,
run
that's
by
cool.
Van Hansen and Kid Mike. They had a show that I had supported and donated money to, and they put me in the Hall of Fame. I didn't ask for it, but they did. But
Yeah,
it
that's
was a
awesome.
great cause for a great charity. But nevertheless, yeah, no, I just was saying facetiously because Maverick would have got motivated for that. But no, we certainly don't want to knock the Steelers, although Maverick will. But nevertheless, they've got their own issues. But I'm sure we'll feel. But speaking of actually, before I get to closing thoughts here, though, I got to ask you though, a fun question. Who do you think wins the Super Bowl this year, the Seahawks or the Patriots?
I'm gonna go with Seattle. I
Okay.
just um, and I'll be honest with you, and this is the truth. I'm a secret Seattle fan in the post, after the playoffs are over with, because my Bengals, I mean, they made it 5 years ago, but you have to have that, who you going to cheer for type deal. So I mean, I was always a Russell Wilson fan, even though he was a Steeler. I just don't count that.
I know, yeah, it wasn't really a
Yeah,
great as a
so
Steeler.
yeah, and that, and well, you had Geno Smith on the team, and he came from WVU, so he,
Yep.
partied on the streets I party in. So
No, Gino was good for a couple of years with the Seahawks. I gotta tell you, I mean, not
yeah.
so much with the Raiders this year, but he's pretty good. They got him to the playoffs one year. Now, listen, Geno Smith was actually turned his career around with the Seahawks.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean I'm like, I don't have any merch or anything. It's just that's the team that I secretly root for in the postseason. So I'm gonna go with Seattle.
Yeah, well, that's a good listen. I am rooting for Seattle, but as I said to my friend yesterday in Brooklyn, Mr. Joseph Rosas, I said the football gods may be with the Patriots, though. That's my unfortunate comment toward that. I'm rooting for the Seahawks, but the football gods may be with the Patriots. I have no idea
Yeah,
why, but that's how I feel.
and not only that, but like I I hate to say this as a Cincy fan, but the Steelers had the the most wins for I don't know how long. You know what I mean? I would hate for it to end in a tie. You know, I'd rather it, just
Yeah.
it's cool. You know, I mean, my son's a Steeler fan. You know, so it's.
Steelers have been a great franchise. If you look at since the merger back in 1970, the Steelers have been basically the NFL's version of the Yankees. I mean, they've been consistently a good franchise. I mean, there's just no way around it.
Yeah, even though I hate talking about them, I'm just.
Well, you did get to the Super Bowl. As a Bengals fan, you got to the Super Bowl recently in the Steelers. You can look at it that way. So you have one more in the last 10 years.
Back-to-back AFC Championship games.
I was going to say, the Bengals in the last 10 years have won more playoff games than the Steelers. I mean, not to rub salt in the wound, but yeah, we'll see. We'll certainly see. And yes, I appreciate that. Thank you, Double L. And we appreciate our friends in the WWF. And it is Maverick Week here on all Sportzwire radio platforms. So we'll give him this when we're off the air. And I guess then I should ask you, do you have any closing thoughts or final words for your opponents on February 21st? That would be Michael Everything and one Ryan Steele.
You know, I'll just leave it at this. You guys, both of yins are good. I'll admit. I wrestle both of you guys one-on-one. You guys are tough. But you got to understand, both of you guys aren't just going to come after me because you got the other guy in this match as well that you have to worry about. So I'm not just the only target. I've been in this company and in this business for a long time. I will walk out WVWF King of the Mountain champion, and then I'll take on my list, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, that is strong words from the King of the Mountain champion, Cody Maverick himself, and we're very excited about the show that is coming up. Love and War is the WVWF's latest show, and that takes place Saturday, February the 21st. And we would hope everybody goes to Maverick's YouTube page, goes to the WVWF's Facebook page to find out more information on the show. And we will have coverage for Love and War between now and throughout February. So stay tuned for that. And I can assure you that the best is yet to come when it is related to the WVWF and all things related to that. And also, I want to get to a few more comments. And your son's a smart kid. And I am a USC Trojans fan over everything else. And the Seahawks have 4 USC guys, and the Patriots got none. So let's go USC Hawk. That's a good way to look at it. That's a very good way to look at that comment. And yeah, I mean, this USC has always had a Seahawks presence because Pete Carroll was the head coach. Duh. Yeah. It's a good way to look at it. And I do want to say hello to our friends in the USWA because, of course, Daniel Tafua, our WVWF Hybrid Champion, is also the USWA Universal Champion. And if you're out there, you should certainly hit the sub button for the USWA because we're going to have some USWA coverage coming up here next Tuesday night in your chair with the USWA owner, Barry. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. We've talked so much about the USWA over the last year with Dave Jamison being the Keystone champion and certainly Daniel Tafua. But now you're going to get USWA coverage here from the man himself, and I am very excited about that. I'm very excited to be talking about what the USWA show is. But guess what? The USWA has a show this Saturday they're supporting in Connecticut, where Daniel Tafua is going to obviously be a part of, and Jason Knight, the legendary Jason Knight's going to be a part of that show. That's a huge deal. So please go out there and support the USWA and all the great things that they are doing. I can assure you, you're going to be excited about that. And Harley, the owner of the company, is going to be there. We're going to be, talking with him on Sportswire from the fall of that next Tuesday. So do me a favor, go out there and hit the sub button for the USWA. We'd really appreciate that. And also another great point from the Double L. Unfortunately, you don't got to be pinned to lose in a three-way. So be careful. That's a good point. You could lose it. I brought this up earlier, the 33.3% odds. You could lose this championship without even being pinned. I mean, this is a really difficult defense. And they always say in this sport, the first defense is the most difficult one.
Yeah, I just gotta get through it. Like Lester said, I don't have to be pinned. There's a lot to think of, and
Yeah.
it's a lot to train for because you you don't have to be pinned to lose.
No.
It's just real. It's it's just a lot of thinking, and I can't really explain to you because there's a lot going through my head to
Oh, sure, absolutely. This is not easy. This is not
right.
an easy situation because you've got the 2 week delay. You've also got a man in this match in Michael Everett that pinned you recently. You've also got to deal with the 33.3% odds of retaining the championship. It's also your first defense. You're the first ever King of the Mountain champion. There's a lot that goes in place with this, and that's why you're feeling what you feel here. And I think that's why everybody should support you and everybody should support the WVWF. And I have no doubt that we'll be talking plenty of this here. And Pete Carroll is the greatest of all time. The Raiders are stupid. Well, I mean, Pete Carroll's an outstanding coach, but the Raiders they're a sad franchise. I'll give you half a point on that. Yes, and good luck to you, Maverick. And I know we'll be talking about you next Tuesday as well with Harley. I'm very excited to have him on here and talk the USWA and a lot that we went in detail here. And I want to pass the baton to you, give you some closing thoughts. And actually, before I do that, I want to make an announcement that I was promising at the beginning of the show. Later this week on All Sportswire Radio Pubs, you want to talk about big, you want to talk about prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. We're going to have the guy that everybody heard about, this band Evanescence. Right? Evanescence had this song, Bring Me to Life. It's one of the biggest songs of the 2000s. Their debut album is actually one of the highest selling albums of that entire, it's the 13th highest selling album of the entire 2000s. The entire 2000s, right? And the guy that provided the vocals on that song, Paul McCoy, he's going to be here on Sportswire Radio. The 12 Stones frontman is going to be on here later this week. He's going to talk about that Evanescence song that he was a part of with Amy Lee. He's going to talk about his brand new single, his band being out there, and just a whole other range of topics. So you'll find out more details on that. So you heard it here first. 12 Stones frontman Paul McCoy, who provided the male vocals on the legendary Evanescence Bring Me to Life. And we're going to bring you to life and everybody else when Paul McCoy comes on here. So that was my announcement, and I think everybody will want to tune into that and see you soon. And yes, Paul McCoy from 12 Stones. Yep, 12 Stones, and great band, and they're back out there. They're about to start a tour with Creed, so if you loved Creed, Powerman 5000, they're about to go on tour with them, and Creed is the Creed Cruise coming up, and you guys made that all happen, so we'll definitely talk a lot more about that. And let me pass the baton to you, Champ. Let me give you some closing thoughts, and the floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, I seen a USWA comment. I've been wanting to work for them for a while. A lot of my buddies are, there. I'm sure they can tell the promoter how I work and everything. We can set something up. Like I said, I'm looking for pretty much any booking I can get at this point. I'm willing to travel. Like I said, we have to, meet in the middle of asking price. I don't really want to travel 6 hours for $20. You know what I mean? But I'll do it for a little more than that. I'm not asking for a paycheck, but reasonable, that I've always wanted to wrestle in a 6-sided ring. I don't know if I ever talked to you about that, but that's on my bucket list. Like I did my cage match, and then the 6-sided is really the only match I dream of, or wrestling in the 6-sided rings on my bucket list. Other than that, I'm just wanting more bookings. Like I have dates available. If you're interested, hit me up. I have a personal page. I have the Maverick wrestler page, so hit me up on either one of those platforms, and I'll send you a message or whatever. Other than that, Tom, we covered pretty much everything that that I wanted to discuss, with this title match and a couple other shows I got coming on. I I don't think I have anything, you know.
No, you're good, and I think I agree with Harley that we'd love to have you anytime, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about you Tuesday night when he's here. We're going to talk a lot about the USA because again, many of our friends like Ampo and the Banana Man and Mr.
Yeah.
Tafua and obviously Mr. Jameson and so many others, and
I think your
top
mic
10.
went
Yeah,
out.
my
There
mic
it
is
is.
blowing out
Yeah.
tonight, but yeah, you get the point. And my friend Maria also is saying hello. Thank you, Maria. And we are excited about Paul McCoy of 12 Stone to provide the vocals on Bring Me to Life with Evanescence. But obviously, I am so happy for you that you won that King of the Mountain Championship. Looking forward to seeing you out there, most especially in Mon Valley. I'm looking forward to talking with you about the fallout from what's ahead on the 21st, and we'll, I'm sure, talk maybe about what's ahead on March 14th. So congratulations, my friend. Thank you for all you do for our sport, and we will give this to you before the night is over. And there's Hype Man Dan Lasers. There you go. Hype Man Cease and Desist is in the house. Hello to him, and thank you for being here. And we're going to get off the air, and I'm going to be on about 10 or 15 minutes, and stay tuned for that. And there is DB Rivera, and the guys too. I think they're used to an earlier start time, or maybe not so much. But if you're out there, we've talked plenty with Cody Maverick himself. And if you have a chance, rewatch the episode. He spoke about some of the names that just walked into the chat. And if you also have another chance, go out there and hit the sub button for Cody Maverick's YouTube channel, where he's got some other content. And also 325 7th Street, the Richardson Building, beautiful Parkersburg, West Virginia. That's where you need to be. That's where you should be watching the likes of Cody Maverick, the likes of Daniel Tafu, the likes of DB Rivera, D. Mosley, Ryan Steele, Nate Steele, Michael Everything, and I'm sure the draw, and we'll find about Team WWF, Cease and Desist, amongst other things. So, my friend, congratulations. Thank you for all you do for our sport. We'll give you the certificate when we're off the air, and everybody hit the sub button for you, and we'll see you after February 21st. All right, that's Cody Maverick, the fat boy himself, the reigning defending WVWF King of the Mountain champion. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice here, figuratively and literally, where all music and all wrestling matters. I'll be on here in about 10 or so minutes with the big horse of Super Southern Wrestling. But in the meantime, please follow WVWF on Facebook. Also hit the sub button for Cody Maverick's page. Also hit the sub button for all the companies that the other guys are representing at the USWA. Also, certainly EPWA, WDWA, and Mon Valley, and the list goes on, and the EWA, IMF, RWW, all the great companies. I see people here in the chat. So until then, I'll see everybody here in a little bit, and hit the sub button for us if you like, and thank you to Maverick and